What's up, buddy? Live, live, live. What's happening? How's everybody doing tonight on this beautiful Sunday night? We're up here just hanging out. Live from the truck ramp. Again. Sorry about this morning, guys. We had some issues. I didn't realize my clock was set to 24-hour time when I scheduled the live, and I scheduled it for 8 o'clock. And here it ended up being 8 a.m. and not 8 p.m. So we're here. Let me get this tripod set up. Get in with you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? I just literally rushed as fast as I could to get here. So how's everybody doing tonight? Well, guys, it's Sunday night. Beautiful southwestern Pennsylvania. We're here live from the runaway truck ramp, just north of Connersville, Route 711. We got the mountains in the background. I might turn around here. I come in, I figure I can answer some questions for you guys, let everybody know what's going on. Howdy, Dakota. What's happening, brother? How you doing tonight? You turn this around, you guys can see what I see. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, what a hectic day when you run around and do everything. It's crazy times, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, we're clear up at the top, Schultz. We're at the top of the ramp, buddy. Let's see what's going on here. See if this will connect. How's everybody doing tonight? We're live on location here at Connersville, Pennsylvania. White Trash Motorsports Sunday Night Live. I hope that wind isn't interfering as much. Oh yeah. Well, you know, don't tell them they don't have talent, Dakota. That would be impolite. Just let them sing. If they think they're doing a good job, let them. Who are we to judge, right? But wonderful. We got now, what is it? So it would be what, 67 days of No Name Nationals? I think Friday night was 69, right? So, I mean, I'm real sad, disappointed, man. I'm gonna miss Tony. Really miss Tony, man. I've got to watch that Sunday Night Live for so many years now. I'm just going to be lost without him. Between Sunday night and Wednesday night, that was a regular routine, man. Get home and watch it. If I didn't get home, I had him running on the Bluetooth, and wherever I was at, just lay the phone on the seat there, turn the Bluetooth on, and let her rip. The wind noise isn't too bad, is it, guys? Anybody want to let me know? What's up, Mopar Den? How's it going, man? What's everybody up to tonight? Man, it was actually a warm one for once here. It was in the 90s. Yeah, it is a little windy. All right. Hey, Hippie Miller, what's happening? If anything, I'll try to duck over here. There's a little bit of a wind break. If it's affecting the microphone too much, I can get over here out of the wind a little bit. But as you can see, I'm right up on the top of this bluff. And that, see, I'm looking straight at it, so that's looking directly east to me behind it. Eating pizza. That's good. I just had pizza the other day. That's probably one of my favorite foods is pizza. Yeah, it was beautiful today. Oh, I know, don't want to be whining because it's hot, but hey, what are you going to do? It'll all be over in a couple of weeks, right? Another 4 weeks and it'll be getting cold at night, so what are you going to do? That's this time of year. Enjoy it while it's here. Hey, Buff's Garage, what's happening? Oh, yeah, Papa John's, Dakota. Yeah, I haven't had Papa John's for a while. The closest franchise to me is about probably 20 miles, so we don't get there that often. We got a couple of really good local joints we get from. Yeah, so as I said, maybe I can even turn this around here and get the sunset in here because I want to stop the wind. That's my biggest thing for that. Oh, everybody had pizza today. Yeah, pizza night, pizza Sunday. Well, it's probably because it's too hot everywhere to cook. Yeah, no problem, Duff. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that worked. Yeah, the Cutlass is still working, and Buff, yeah, said, yeah, use that 6.0. There's that piece specifically that spaces out the 6.0 flywheel. And what I did is I laid my 350 converter on there and just spray painted it, and I ended up ovaling the three of the, because there's 6 holes, hold the 4L80 to the 6.0 flywheel. I'm totally unprepared here. But there's 6 holes that hold that LS 4L80 converter to that flywheel. 3 of those will line up with your Turbo 350 converter if you just oval them a little bit. I mean, I know some guys are worried about oval them. I ovaled mine and put some washers behind it. Like I said, the car, by what it weighs and its elapsed time it's running, I got to be putting at least 650 to the wheels on a slick. And I haven't, noticed the holes in the flywheel that I egged haven't moved any. So, and it's been that way for at least 4 years. Yep, that's what I did. Just make sure you get your spacing right on that. Make sure you push your converter all the way back in and then space it. That way you're not getting all that. You want to have just a little bit of space there, but I need to do a video on proper converter spacing on that so you're not beating the thrust bearings out of that LS. You didn't say, Buff, are you going to run carbureted on that, or are you going to run EFI? Well, you want 3 clunks in, but then it'll seat and it'll be about probably a ½ inch from the face of the flywheel. You want to space it out a little bit. You want to pull it out, and I run like probably about a nickel thick washer, just like it came out of the truck. Okay, what'd you do for your ECU? You got HP tunes or something to turn the VATs off in that computer? Because that's important to get that VATs off, because it's not going to run. Yeah, about a nickel thick. Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Nothing to the computer right now. All right, where are you at, Buff? Because I got some ECMs here that's just stock truck tunes. Kansas? I mean, we have to work something out. If anything, if you can't figure it out, maybe you can send me a computer and I can turn the VATs off for you and get it sent back to you. Yeah, that stock will work, but you have to turn that anti-theft off in there because it'll just fire up. If it doesn't see the body control module out of the truck, it'll just shut off. That's the only thing that sucks about that system. But basically, when HP tunes, even with a stock computer, you go in there's a little drop-down box and you turn off VATs. It's GM's version. It's a vehicle anti-theft system, and you just check the box and flash it to the computer, and then it goes away. But that has to be turned off in a stock computer. Yeah, the Hall effect and the keyway, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can, on them computers, I just go in and shut off everything it doesn't need. You can turn off all the check engine lights you don't need, like for the rear O2 sensors. We convert them to speed density when we're running the turbo, and then also that eliminates the need to run the mass air sensor. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you want to do with the car, but for what HP tuners costs, if you're planning on upgrading in the future, honestly, just go ahead and buy the Holley Terminator for that, because it's got a lot of safeties and stuff. You can run boost and you can run nitrous and everything with that stock computer, but you got to trick it to pretty much do anything you want it to do. And I ended up, when I first did mine, yeah, you want it to run and drive. Yeah, well, you're going to have as much in that HP, or much in HP tunes and everything wrapped up by the time you do that, for like $300 more, you can get that Holley kit. But I understand. I ran mine on a stock computer, and I wish that I didn't waste the money on the HP tunes. Because like I said, as soon as I wanted to go turbo, I went straight to the Holley kit. There's no real safeties in that factory computer for boost, or you can pull timing for nitrous, but you have to trick it. A lot of guys just run a resistor. There you go. Yeah, I would honestly, if you really want to make a lot of power with it, just go to that Holley system. And it's a lot simpler. If you want to make power, I don't know if you know about decapping the injectors to make power, but if you decap them, the stock truck injectors will flow between 70 and 80 pounds an hour if you decap them. But a lot of times, maybe go to the junkyard and get, 3 sets of them, decap them all, and send them and have flow matched. That way you have 8 of them that they're all close. Yeah, that's fine. Well, yeah, I mean, I can turn that VATS off, but I'm in Pennsylvania. I'd have to have the ECM to be able to turn that off. I have one turned off. What year motor are you working with? What truck is it out of? Because maybe I got a couple ECMs here that are unlocked. Maybe we can just send you one. I got '05, so that's drive-by-wire. I got an unlocked drive-by-wire computer here. It was set up, it was tuned for the sloppy stage 2 cam and that, so. But I have an unlocked computer for a drive-by-wire car. Actually, I have both, but I have one laying there that I'm actually not using that drive-by-wire computer, so maybe we can work something out. You can tell me what your setup is, and I can get it close enough and hook you up with that. That way you'll be ready for No Name. Said, I mean, my car's already for No Name. Yeah, there's a lot of write-ups on that. That's how I did with my G-body, was modify the gas pedal to make it work. I cut it off and then used the gas pedal part off of the G-body, and I welded it to the arm of the truck one. That way it bolted in there and it looked factory. I mean, I like the drive-by-wire stuff because you can do stuff with traction control and that, and cruise control is just a matter of a 3-wire hookup to a cruise control switch. So it has its positives. You're running 350 turbo behind that. Okay, that's right. Never mind. I get so many different projects and so many things going on, it's hard to keep straight what's what. Yeah, it'll work well. I said that it's nice with that. Yeah, you should be real good with that. Everything should work out fine. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if anything, like I said, I get you an email. You have 483, it isn't ready and won't fit. Yeah, the 4L80 is good. I mean, because that ECM I got has the controls for the 4L80 in it, but you don't have to use them. You can just, what I did is just tuck that harness up, zip tied it out of the way, and left it unplugged and just turned it off in HP Tunes. And if I ever needed it, I would have went back in and turned it on. Because it has like an option box to run a 3-speed non-electronic in there when you're setting that computer up in HP Tunes. But I mean, it's stout. You'll be amazed, man. The stock 6-liter with nothing done to it made so much bottom end torque. When I first stuck it in that Cutlass, I had a stock converter and a 273 rear end, and I mean, I could literally do 1,000-foot burnouts in that car. No, it's good, Buff. I mean, I would rather, that's the whole point of doing these lives, is be able to interact and help people in real time. That's what I wanted to be able to do. You're not hijacking anything. I'm glad you're on here. It gives me something to talk about. So thanks for popping in and doing that. Other than that, I'd just be standing here talking about the same things. Yeah, LQ9 going to Ed Machine to get the cam bearings fixed. Are they that bad? Because, I mean, our mode on that is don't look at the cam bearings usually. So I know every LS I've done, I've never looked at the cam bearings. If it come out of the vehicle running, if I was changing the cam, I just slap the cam. Other than that, I don't take it apart. It spun the third one. Okay. Yeah, then you'll have to take care of that. I just don't like getting in there and fooling with them because there's really nothing that we're going to do is going to make that engine any more reliable than GM already made it. Heck, I bet I've had the heads off of mine at least 6 times. I've reused the head bolts every time. I just spray a little bit of copper coat on the gaskets, throw them back on, and torque them down to like 65 foot-pounds. Let's see what else we've done. Yeah, I haven't bought new bolts or new head gaskets, and it's seen as much as 25 pounds of boost. Yeah, he knew everything. Yeah, Yeah, the LQ9 were good for that, but I mean, the only difference, I get an LQ4 in mine. Really, the only difference is you got true flat tops, and mine's got the dish pistons. Stake it up and go. There you go, unfinished project. That's it. Improvise, adapt. Sitting in a box. There you go. Yeah, that'll be a nice stock combination. You'll be amazed at the bottom end torque that those motors make. I mean, I remember running around, like I said, 25 years ago. We had 350s, and we'd do cams and intake and headers and stuff on them. But we was always pretty much just running decent stock heads, and we thought we had race cars back in. We're like, man, these things fly. 82 Trans Am, yeah, it'll definitely move. Especially all-wheel drive, you'll be deadly if you ever want to get into no prep with that. But we thought we had power, and then I stuck at LQ4 in that Cutlass, and I mean, the just bottom end grunt was amazing. I was like, man, this thing. And then once I put the first year, I ran it 1 year bone stock, one summer. Then the next summer, I put the Sloppy Stage 2 cam, which is at Elgin, 228, 230, and it's 585 lift. I put that in there with Pac 12 18 valve springs for the second year, and then I was running like a 150 shot of nitrous on the car with the stock computer. And then last year we pulled that out, and I ended up going with a Holley, and I'm just going with a cheap Chinese 78, 75 turbo on a homemade kit. Like I said, I know the T4 is a little small for a 6-liter, but so it definitely hits a wall, because I noticed when we are at the track, I really don't get much more power. At about 18 pounds, it doesn't matter from 18 to 25 psi. It doesn't pick up anything in ET. It just pretty much hits that stone wall of flow at that point. That little turbo just can't feed enough to make any more in that 6-liter motor. But it's potent on the street. I mean, it lights off instantly. It just, as you're cruising around, it's got about a 3200 stall converter in it, so I mean, it's right there at that threshold of making boost all the time. So it's fun, because as you're rolling down the road, you can just do rolling burnouts anytime by flicking the throttle, no matter how fast you're going. But it's been a learning experience. The car's done and good. It'll be ready to go to No Name, no problem. Like I said, the thing is, now I got to get my car trailer. I got to put a new wood deck on it, and just go over the bearings and everything in the suspension, make sure everything's going to be good, throw some tires on it, and get my pickup truck up and running to go. It would be nice to do the motor, but like I said, with parts availability and that thing being sold, I can't find anything for the Winnebago right now, brake part wise, and I need front rotors for it and rear wheel cylinders, and I'm definitely not going to be able to get those in my hand between now and No Name, and that has the 5-bolt butt axles in it, so. Oh, it'll run and drive good, man. That TA will be fast even with a stock LS in it. You'll be amazed. Trust me, it's amazing the difference in them. Definitely, it'll surprise you. You'll be well pleased with it, and that Grand Prix will run good too. That'll make a perfect just cruiser. You better just jump in it, fire it up, and go anywhere. I mean, that with that Pontiac like that, if you're not going to hot rod it, I would run a stock computer with that and just set it up as close to a stock engine as possible. That way you get the reliability. Yeah, about 200 stock to 400. Yeah, you'll definitely notice a difference, because you're pretty much doubling the power to it. You're absolutely correct. It'll be a screamer. And it'll get good fuel mileage, because mine don't do bad. When I ran pump gas in my car, it ran good. It just wasn't until I went to E85 that I lost a little bit, and it's still not bad. I usually, like I said, I average about 20 miles a day, and I run about 15 gallons of fuel a week out in the car. Because I'll go, unfortunately, the station that they put in, the new 2 stations they put in here in town, they didn't do E85. Yeah, you can run E85, but I mean, here's the thing. Unless it's boosted, you're not going to gain anything by running E85. Like I said, it's going to hurt your fuel mileage, and it's just not worth it. Now, if you want to run boost, it's nice because, like I said, because the octane you pick up from the E85. But if you're just like your stock computer, stock car, you're because '05 flex was available, so you could do flex fuel. But like I said, you don't save anything because you end up running out more E85 than you do gas. Yeah, it's $1 more cheaper, but you use one third more of it. So if your car, yeah, because there's less in it. That's the only problem with the E85. I mean, when you do the math, even though the E85 is $1 cheaper, it ends up costing more in the long run, but it's still E85. Usually, the summer blend E85 is around 112 octane. Is it? And it's unneeded in a stock LS unless you're running boost. That's the only other time that you're going to need any kind of octane because the the LS motor, it's happy at 20 degrees of timing, 25 degrees. It doesn't really need much. Yeah, well, yeah, if you want to run E85 with boost, if you're going to run around a naturally aspirated motor, don't waste your time with E85 because it's ended up going to cost you more in the long run just because you're going to use more of it. But when you compare, E85, 112 octane, you compare that to 112 octane race gas, you can see where even though it's more than regular gasoline, it's still way cheaper than race gas. It lets me be able to drive the car daily on the road. I mean, my car will run on pump gas, but I got to limit the boost to about 8 pounds because I'm a cheapskate and running on 87. But you can do it. Hey, they love boost, man. Boost is their favorite thing. I mean, if you're gonna go boost in it though, like I said, I recommend go at least at 78, 75. That GT45 turbo is so inefficient. I know they're cheap, but it requires a special V band for the exhaust flange. By the time you buy all the stuff to make it work, you're really not saving anything. And it has a divided T4 flange on that one to where the 7875 has an open T4 flange and it uses a standard 3-inch V-band output. So it's a lot simpler to hook up. So it said run that GT45, you're not really saving much by the time you buy all the little odds and ends you need for it. And like I said, that turbo is really probably only good on a 6-liter. It's probably only good for maybe 600 horsepower, I would say. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we should be on schedule for No Name. I mean, you're in Kansas. Luckily, that should be a little bit closer to you than where we're at. It's like a 10-hour drive for us. I'm trying to, hopefully, I can find someone at least has a slide-in camper for an 8-foot bed that I can at least borrow to throw on my Ford to get down there. Because we're really not going to be able to buy nothing between now and then. Stretched so thin on everything else. But I mean, I was looking. I always look for a deal, but there's just no deals out there right now. Everybody's so ridiculous on those things. There was guys, all the ones on like Marketplace around here had significant water damage, or the appliances didn't work and it had water damage, and these people still wanted $3,000 and $4,000 for these things that literally just 5 years ago we was buying for $200 or $300. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I want to do it. I mean, even if I didn't if I wasn't going to bring a camper buff, I was just going to camp out in the pit. I mean, it's only 2 nights. I just think it's going to be way more fun to be there at the track all night. And it wouldn't be the first time, It's one of my favorite things that I like to tell everybody, You can sleep in your car, but you can't race your house. So always, I don't mind to sleep in the car. The way it looks right now, I'm not sure who all is going to make it, so it'll probably be just me and my son anyway. Well, yeah, used car prices, you should see what, like I said, them slide-in campers, literally, they're not even worth anything scrap. That's what I can't understand. What's up, Dawn? How you doing tonight? Yeah, the slide-in campers aren't even worth scrap price because most of the ones made after the mid-'80s are fiberglass and 2x2. So, I mean, you're not even going to get anything scrap value out of them. I mean, Yeah, it's got a piece of tin on the roof, but really, what are you going to get out of it? Because around here, no junkyards want to take them because they're just mostly just wood and fiberglass. They're not worth anything. But it's just crazy. Like I said, I bought probably about, I don't know, it's been about 10 years ago. I had a real nice Coachman 10.5 footer I bought, and I paid $200 for the thing, and everything worked in it. It had a brand new refrigerator in it. You know, it had some water damage, but I took a couple months and fixed the water damage in it, and cut some new tuba tubes, put some new paneling in it, had a pretty nice one, but it ended up getting pushed over by somebody being vengeful. They pushed it over on the jacks. Yeah, I understand with a wife. That's fine. If that's what she wants to get her to go racing, then do what you got to do, man. Happy wife, happy life. You know, it's cool that she's going to come and join you at the race. So if that takes having her in a hotel to keep her happy, then by all means, man, do it. You get no disrespect for that. Like I said, that'll make your time even more enjoyable just to know that she has time. Yep. That's it. And if she's having a good time there at No Name, then Buff, you'll have a good time just because you're making her have a good time. Oh, it looks like now as the sun's going down, the wind's dying down. Oy, oy, oy. So, at least it didn't rain today like yesterday. I wanted to make it to the shop, but I was running so far behind tonight. You're sleeping in. There you go, Dawn. I even looked at trying to find a full-size van around here, but like I said, there was guys that have stuff from the early 80s, and they were wanting way more. Yeah, we got hit pretty hard yesterday, Dawn. You're in Pennsylvania, too, so you're over, though, more towards Harrisburg area. Because we're right here, like I said, we're about 35 miles southeast of Pittsburgh where we're at. Right on the western face of the Laurel Highlands. As you can see there in the background when we had the phone there. Yeah, the Pontiac Aztek, huh? The car's so ugly that they knew you wanted to take it home. Yeah, Williamsport. Yeah, I knew you was from Pennsylvania, so, I mean, you're close by at least. Yeah, that's what the guys told me. They said that Aztek was so ugly, that's why Pontiac give you a tent, because they knew you didn't want your neighbors to see it in your driveway. There's the sunsets. I guess I'll turn you guys around so you guys can see the mountain in the background and the sunset. And now we'll face back here. The phone's facing back towards the west, and it's setting. That's the city of Connersville in the background. But yeah, I wanted to make it to the shop, like I said, but I was running so far behind tonight, there was no way I was going to make it. I got back to my house, and it was already 7 minutes till 8, and my shop's another 6 miles away, so it would have took me a while to get there. So, and I wasn't going to try to go live while I was driving, because if I'd have been live while I was driving, you can't hear anything in that car. It's so loud, so I didn't want to run everybody off. Since this was going to be my first Sunday Night Live, I didn't want to screw it up. But yeah, Dawn, I think it's going to be a beautiful sunset here. Wish the phone would focus on it. It already is beautiful. It's like washing out on the light. It's probably just this cheap phone, but I was trying to get it in the rear there. Oh, there it is. I can get it. There's the sunset for you guys. A little bit of it. Yeah, Kansas flat there. I'll hold it up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit of a panoramic view. This is what I see every day from my house when I leave to go to work in the morning. As I drive down into the valley there and over to the other side when I leave. Yeah, that sun's just really screwing with the autofocus on it, so I'll just sit back here and block it. Yeah, Alaska, man, is beautiful. I know that, but I don't know if I could deal with the cold. It gets almost too cold for me in Pennsylvania anymore, man. I'm already regretting it. And complaining to everybody that summer's about over already because here it is into July. I mean, we're already now, really for us, Probably by the end of August, the nights will already be starting to get cold enough that you'll be running around with a hoodie on. So by September, it's pretty chilly at night. We have nights in the 40s by the time September. I mean, the last few years it stayed warm, like, upper 60s, lower 70s into like mid October, but it still gets pretty chilly at night. That's the biggest problem with around here. As soon as the sun goes down, it just cools off so fast. What's up, Sandbound Ballistics? I didn't give you a shout out earlier. I didn't know you popped on there, man. How you on? Thanks for joining in. We appreciate it. Yeah. Now, Dwayne, yeah, you know me. I show up and work with a hoodie on in June. No hoodie till November. I get cold, man. I can't deal with that. There ain't nothing to me. I got my, I guess I was going to put in to be like, you know how like jockeys for riding horses, they always get the light guys. I was going to talk to some guys with some fast cars and figured since I only weigh like $1.25, if they could put me in their car and you gain 1/10 of a second for every 100 pounds you drop, I could make their car run faster for them. And I guess still for an old man, I still got a decent reaction time, so I could make their car faster. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Long hoodies, Bob Garage. I think that's what. Yeah, I mean, Bob, that's it. I like to wear hoodies, man. I have a hoodie, like I said, even in May, June, and July. As you can see, even here as I come out to do this live tonight, I grabbed a hoodie before I left the house because once the sun comes down, like, it's gonna cool off. So I'd say hoodies are nice, and the guys down south, that's their winter dress. I would definitely. I'm sure somebody would buy some hoodies. We got some white trash hoodies coming eventually, but said it's been so hectic around here, man, with everything. And said I'm in the middle of actually, literally, I'm remodeling a house, and and the fiance, she's really adamant about getting it done, which I understand. So she's on there about that. And then, like I said, one of my good friends, I'm finishing up his Pontiac, getting it running. I actually had it running today, that Le Mans. I got it fired up and got the carburetor dialed in, but I got a freaking leak. I'm stupid. The only thing I hate about Pontiac is that little rubber O-ring between the intake and the water pump, that little transfer slot right there. Yeah, it's leaking there, so I'm going to have to come back in and probably just pull the water pump. I don't know why that O-ring's leaking. Maybe pull it, put a little bit of RTV on there, and then put it back together and tighten it up. Other than that, the car was sounding good, dialed in good. I can't believe that Holly was that far out of the box. Where are you at? That nice view behind you. Mopar Dan, I am in southwestern Pennsylvania. I'm on the western side of the Appalachian Mountains here. And you're looking west there over the city of Connellsville. It's a little town about 35 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. And I said, I'm sitting at the top of the runaway truck ramp that's about half a mile or a quarter of a mile from my house. Yeah, I picked this spot because not only that, is about 150 feet from where I'm at, there's a pole light that's going to come on as it gets dark, and I can make my way down there and have some light behind me. We're good as long as no semis run away and come up the ramp, but even if they do, I guess I'll just whip the camera around and we'll have a good front row seat for the impact. Because we're far enough off of the ramp that we wouldn't get run over. We're in a paved portion that the tow trucks would use to recover the vehicle. And then it comes up here, there's like a little cul-de-sac up there. Hey man, you gotta have a nice view. I don't know about going viral. The only thing I've had it went viral is that dumb stunt we pulled with the air conditioner, and I think it's pulled about 200,000 views, but unfortunately it's a short. But it's good, man. I'm glad we got it. It got us a lot of people. We did that. Hello, Wendy. How you doing? We did that air conditioner short, and then I did one on the LS. I did why the LS is so popular, and I made that video like 2 months ago, and then just out of the blue, it popped up, and it went up to like I think 100,000 views, but we gained 702 subscribers since the night I did that car show about, I don't know, 2.5 weeks ago. I mean, it's crazy. I never thought just dumb stuff like that. And that's why I said I go out in the garage and I try to make a nice video where I teach people. I teach people how to save money and like how to make a valve spring compressor for an LS out of just, a small scrap piece of 1/4 inch steel. Do a video like that and it gets 40 views, and I grab a window air conditioner and shove it in the sliding back window of my Ford pickup truck and do a short on it, and it gets over 200,000 views. So go figure. But we're happy. I mean, we're where we're at. It's a little disappointing that having 2,500 subscribers that our videos only average about 40 views per video, but it'll pick up. It's fine. Yeah, the dumbest thing is get views and subs. Yep, you get the subs, but like I said, that's the problem with our subs right now, though. Our subs ain't watching. I'm going there and watching the analytics. Like I said, we got 2,540 subs. They said we picked up 700 of them in 2 weeks, but none of them's watching the videos. When I'm posting new videos, them guys watch the shorts, but they're not watching the videos. It's kind of funny because the night before that short blew up, I actually had a guy took the time to message me on a short, and he complained. He's like, look, that's the problem with YouTube. Everybody only wants to do shorts no more. No one wants to do videos. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, bud, you feel that way. But I said, thanks for subscribing for a few months that you did. I appreciate it. But if you want to unsubscribe, I understand. And told him have a nice day. And next thing I know, it blew up. And we gained 700 for the ones we lost. Yeah, as I said, I don't even get that, man. I think of my actual full-length videos, I think about 200 views is about the most any of them got, like I said. And they're interesting stuff. My lives end up getting more rewatches than the videos I put out. So, but it'll get there. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep on this. I've come this far. I'm not going to give up now. I wanted to do this for a while. I just got to get better at it. I got that Filmora Go for my phone, but it's hard to edit on a small phone. And I just don't even like to edit stuff anyway. It feels fake. I just like to try to do it in one take, like where we break the tire down off of the bead with the high lift jack, take it off of the rim, put it back on the rim, and air it back up. I did that in 6.5 minutes in one take. Yeah, I'm not going to give up, man. I don't give up on anything. It's either too stubborn or too stupid, one or the other. No, I don't care about pleasing people. People didn't like, that's what I first did. That's how I blew up, is I was at a car show, and I just started doing a short on every car there. And then everything else, everybody was trying it. But it works. I'm glad it works for people. That's what I was telling a couple smaller channels that wasn't getting subs. I told them, I was like, just do your shorts for now. Don't worry about getting your view hours. Do your shorts. And as long as you got something interesting for a short, it's easy to keep somebody engaged for, 15 to 60 seconds. You can keep somebody watching it. And, a lot of guys will give you a sub if you can make them laugh. Yeah, I'm not a fan either, but they do work. I agree. Like I said, we've got 700 subscribers in 2 weeks from shorts. So shorts do work, which I feel a lot better. We lost a lot because when we first come on, we ended up, because we're so close to Hagerstown, we went down there for the convoy, and we got subs for that. But then we pretty much lost all them subs, which is understandable. But even when we was down there recording the convoy, I told everybody we're a car channel. We were covering the trucks because the trucks was what it was. Yeah, dudes with wrenches blew up. But it'll come. We'll get there. I'll get better. I know that I want to get a better laptop. I got an old laptop right now, and it just makes so much dealing with these videos. Yeah, the shorts are simple. You can do them from your phone no matter where you're at. A couple seconds, throw it in Filmora, put some text on the screen a little bit or something, and then boom, send it. But I mean, the shorts will get you by. That's what I figured between making. That was my strategy, was between making videos was just keep getting shorts. Well, I want to get the, no, I want to get it out there. I've been doing this now for over 30 years. Like I said, I'll be 47 here in October. And I've been working on my own stuff. I got my first car at 14. Like I said, before that, I was working on mowers and stuff at 12 because we grew up kind of poor. So, you'd go get an old lawnmower that somebody threw away. You'd get it running. And then I'd go around the neighborhood and cut everybody's yard for $5 a pop. Then I'd have enough to go skating on the weekends or go to the mall or whatever. I always figured out how to hustle a buck, make $100 in a couple weeks and go buy a used dirt bike off at a local trader and ride it around. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, Buff. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, literally cars are my entire life. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Yeah, I'm everything with it. Yeah, that's what I usually do with that. Toggle it on. I'll even if I'm gonna have a short, I will put 60 up anyway, just in case, because it's nothing worse than when you got a nice short, you just set it up, and it cuts the last 3 seconds of what you were gonna say off. So I mean, most of my shorts are around 15 to 20 seconds anyway, but I always hit it up to the 60 seconds before I start recording. That's a little tip there, like I said, because what would happen is I'd get into it and end up cutting the end off. But I did that video with the air conditioner, just joking. And then I went back and did another video where I actually stuck a 1,000-watt power inverter in the truck and made it work. And that video, I got like 40 views too, but it'll be all right. We'll keep at it. Yeah, see, the only thing, Instagram too, but see, a lot of guys told me that YouTube doesn't like when you share on other platforms. So I keep all my videos exclusively to YouTube for right now. Plus, not only that, like Facebook really done me wrong with some videos we had up that wasn't related to none of this, but they pulled them down, to promote their side of things versus ours. But yeah, the world wants more ACs and trucks. Yeah, I think so. I can't believe how much that took off, man. And I 95% of that was positive reviews on it. I mean, there was only like 5% that said they hope it flies forward and kills me and my family and stuff. But I'm a Gen Xer. I got thick skin. I can take it as much as I can give it. Yeah. Yeah, Facebook is really, I don't know. I don't even have my notifications on for Facebook. The only thing I use for Facebook is because that's the only classifieds anymore, because nobody puts anything on Craigslist. Everything's on Marketplace. So pretty much I have all the notifications disabled for Facebook and all that. And I'll just open it up if I'm on Marketplace looking for something. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, they did me wrong, man. And it sucks because so many places anymore did away with their websites and are using Facebook. So you have to have it. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have Facebook. I would have just deleted it altogether. But even like our local racetrack doesn't have a website. You want to find out what's going on at the track, you got to go to their Facebook page. The lake we go to go boating on, and it's run by the Corps of Engineers, but you want water level, you got to go to their Facebook page. So it just sucks. Yeah, AC units and new things. I think I got lucky with that because it had all the keywords. Because I said redneck, white trash, air condition, and I just happened to put it up the same week that the whole country was in a freaking heat wave. And everybody was looking for a way to cool off, so everybody was searching redneck air conditioners, and they came across that. Like, what did I just find? This idiot's got an air conditioned window unit in the back window of his pickup truck. He's going to kill himself. It's going to fly through the windshield. It's going to kill everybody. Your generator's going to poison you. your generator. And I'm like, my generator isn't going to use more gas. I tried to explain to a guy today, and bless his heart, he was a nice guy, and I appreciate it. But he took the time to write me a book to how I needed to buy lithium-ion batteries from a server rack, put them in there with a true sine wave inverter and all that. And I'm like, dude, I said, the $1,500 you want me to spend on that battery, I said, that would buy a lot of gas for a 2,500 watt generator. It doesn't use much. I was like, the summer will be over, I probably only going to use, if I ran a 2,500 watt generator for all I drive the truck, I probably want to use less than $50 in gas the rest of the year. But I mean, like I said, bless him though, he meant well, he tried. He was just trying to help out. A lot of them didn't realize it was a joke, and a lot of them really thought I was serious, and the whole thing was a joke, because all it was is my son was out in the yard, I had a window unit in my hand, and I said, hey Tommy, look at this, and I grabbed it, shoved it in the back window, and he was recording it, and he was like, how are you going to run it? And I'm like, with a generator. And next thing I knew, it blew up, and we laughed the whole time, but it was good fun. You got to laugh. This world definitely was right now. This world is so serious, and everybody runs around, and they're so offended and feelings hurt and all that, man. Just laugh, man. Let's just all get along and laugh and make cars with horsepower and do burnouts. And I don't care if gas costs $25 a gallon. It doesn't matter. Then it's going to suck, but we'll have to buy it because I love the internal combustion engine. It's my favorite thing in the world. I've literally, like I said, I've spent my whole life doing it. I've spent my whole life working on gasoline engines, and I've dabbled in diesels. I got a good friend of mine, he owns a trucking company, so, I've helped him with his Caterpillar motors, and he's got a newer Detroit, and the ones who had a Cummins in it, so, and then, the local racetrack, we used to run at the dirt track when we ran roundy round stuff. They had a water truck, and it had a Caterpillar motor. Got stuck being a guy to change it for the track when the guys blew it up, running the water truck with no water in the radiator around the track to water the track. So I dabbled a little bit in anything, but I said, never be afraid to take stuff apart. There's another guy on there, he was asking me questions about redoing a Turbo 350, and I'm like, that's my favorite training to do. I mean, I got, right now in the garage, I got a 727 tore apart out of the motorhome. I got milk crates full of Turbo 350 parts. I said, when you do decide to actually do a built Turbo 350 buff, you want to get the center support and the sprag out of a 4L60 because it's a lot beefier and it'll make it a lot stronger, because that sprag assembly is really the only weak link in a Turbo 350. That's the only thing that's going to give you problems anyway. And then there's if you're going to build it for all-out power, there's solid drums, and then there's ones that are factory with holes in them. They're like a lightened drum. So if you run that lighter drum, it'll save you a couple ponies on the top end because it's less rotating mass. But the Turbo 350, I got a Power Glide there to go in the car, but it needs another planetary set because it's only a 180 planetary set, and it needs the clutch pack. I got to get the one piston to hold the 5 clutch or the 8 clutch pack for it because it's a bone stock Power Glide, but I got it on trade with some other parts, so I just throw it to the side because eventually I would like to do that, but if I can find a lighter chassis than the Cutlass, I'll probably pull my turbo motor out and put it in a lighter chassis, and then I got another stock 6.0 at the house with a 4L80. I would like to put that in the Cutlass and hook the air conditioning stuff back up in it and have it just as my practical daily driver, because I do miss it when it ran like it. I mean, it runs fine with the turbo and you can drive it everywhere, but there's no point in driving around a car with that much power all the time, because if you don't have anything but the slicks on the back, it spins, and if you got the slicks on the back, then you got to worry about being caught in the rain. So I know where there was a Vega wagon that already had like an 8.5 cage in it that I seen a few years ago, and I think it's still sitting there. I'd like to go try to find it and maybe put that together as a small tire car as my actual race car, and then just put my Cutlass back together as a just nice daily driver with just an NA60 in it and maybe a shot of nitrous. I see we got some more people joining. Hello, everybody. Thanks for popping in. It's here. We're coming up on sunset. I see the light still looks good, so that's good. Been on here for 50 minutes. We're just talking about everything. LS's and No Name Nationals and everything we done. Doing some videos. We got a good group in here. We're all sad because Uncle Tony isn't doing the lives anymore. It's really disappointing. I've learned a lot from that man. I wish him well. I know his videos are going to do good. I'm just going to miss the lives because I missed hanging out with everybody. I mean, most of the guys here on this live right now, all of us met in Tony's live. And AC units and trucks. Yeah, you're right, Dakota. At least we won't time you out on this channel. We'll let you go. Yeah, I know, Dakota. I was bummed out when I heard about it last night. At first, I thought he was just jerking our chain. And nah, seriously, but I guess he's for real. But, man, Tony's busy, so. Tony may be in it for the money. That's fine. Money makes the world go round, man. So I understand that. I mean, Dakota, I can have the mods ban you or give you a timeout if you really want it, but we're not going to do that. Unless you want it. I know some traditions are hard to break. I'm in it mostly, though. I'm in it for the love of the car, the love of the truck, the love of the vehicle. Like I've spent 30 plus years learning this stuff. Honestly, my son, yeah, he's all right with cars, but he's a computer guy. He doesn't really get the whole hot rod and things, but everybody's their own person. That's fine. I just want to teach somebody something, man. I spent all these years learning it. It would be a shame just to not be able to show somebody how to do it. He's not ditching us, man. He'll still be here. We don't know. We don't know his personal life, man. Maybe something's going on, Dakota. You know, we don't know. Honestly, we really don't know why. I would bet that there's something significant going on somewhere for Tony just to quit doing lives, because he's done them for the last 3 or 4 years. So I doubt that, he just woke up yesterday morning and said, oh, I'm not going to do lives no more. I'm sure there's something going on. He's got his reasons. I can respect him for that. He's a good dude, and if that works out with him with doing videos, then I'm happy for it. Whatever, man. That's good. Tony, like I said, he's taught me a lot about this business, and it was probably his channel years ago that inspired me to want to start doing these YouTube things, because he was practical about it. He wasn't worried about these big fancy productions and graphics and music. Yeah, he wouldn't abandon this for nothing, man. We followed him through thick and thin. I can't see him just walking away for no reason. There's something there. We owe him the respect to let him do it. But it is what it is. I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. Like I said, I want to teach you guys, the young guys, stuff that I learned, I want to teach. I want to take it with me. I want to spread the knowledge. And I lived my whole life doing stuff for nothing. Literally, growing up, broke all the time. Until I, became an adult and started working, on my own. While I was working as a teenager. Like I said, I'd cut neighborhood grass and stuff and making money, but I grew up without. So you either made what you had work or you didn't have. And I can tell you now, like I said, at 47 years old, I've had my own vehicle, at least one vehicle, since I've been 14 years old. I've always had a vehicle. Sometimes it might not have been, registered road legal, but I had a vehicle that if I needed to get in and drive somewhere, I could. And that was the thing. I don't understand these kids today. They have no motivation to want to drive or anything. I was happy, like I said, Tommy just turned 16, my son, and he was excited to get his driver's license. I was happy for that, at least, because I see so many kids anymore that are like, I don't care if I drive. I'm like, Driving was everything, man. We dreamed of driving since he was 8 years old. Yep. Yeah, don't be bitter for what you don't have. Nope, because you can't change it. I learned too, even when things are going bad, man, you could have the worst day of your life, and you might be in that situation where, you can't make that day better. But your attitude can make that day worse, and you can make whatever bad happened to you, you can make it that much worse by either giving up or not trying or just looking at it with the wrong attitude. Things bad happen in life. Life is, you can't take it for granted because it's gone in the blink of an eye sometimes. And when you look at the totality of time and the earth and everything around us as humans, our time on this earth is relatively short. And then there's us idiots that chose to spend most of that time working on machines. But man, there's nothing like that feel of acceleration, when something's standing on your chest, sucking you back in the seat as you push it to the floor. Oh, that's the greatest feeling in the world, that torque just holding you down. And it makes it worth it all. All the sleepless nights, all the busted knuckles, and all the wasted money is worth it when it sets you back in the seat and goes. Like I said, it took me 30 years to put together a car that, literally runs 10-second quarter miles, but I drive it every day on the road. And like I said, it's a heavy, full interior car, but I can say I did it. I never thought I would do it, but I did it. And there's a lot of guys out there that run around with stripped interior and Lexan and fiberglass and all that and claim they're street cars just because they went and paid for a registration on it. But they don't really drive it anywhere. Literally, my Cutlass right now is the only registered vehicle I have because I got to renew the registration on the truck before I even take it to no name. And the truck registration has been expired for probably since the end of last year. So, literally the Cutlass, even in the wintertime, the Cutlass is my daily driver. You throw some snow treads on it in the wintertime and go. That's what they did when it was new. That's what I'll continue to do with it. If it gets that bad that you can't go anywhere, I guess you got to sit home. But, in the Northeast, we spend a lot of tax money dumping, that I hate salt, but they do spend a lot on the road. So no matter how bad it snows, if you just wait a couple of hours, they'll have the roads cleared off and you'll be able to get out and get where you're going. Let me see if the sunset here. It looks like it's setting into the... Yep, there's a sunset for you guys. Let everybody see that. Man, I love this country. If we don't live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, I don't know what to tell you. But I love the United States of America, man. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. Hi, Amanda. As your other live you was watching over, you popped in. I was up here showing people the sunset. But yeah, it's all good. I'm glad, I'm glad you guys tuned in. Glad everybody's here tonight. It may be a small group, but we're a tight group. I can't wait to meet a lot of you guys, and No Name's just going to be for that fun. Everybody that we've talked to over the screen, at least it ain't like the old message board days. I knew a lot of people on the message boards for years, and you had in your mind what you thought they looked like, and then you meet them one day and you're like, man, you're nothing like what I thought. The same person I messaged back and forth with for years and talked tech with, and here you are, you're completely different. At least with YouTube, we kind of know what we all look like. We've seen each other at least once or twice, so that's always a positive. I see the street lights are starting to come on down there, so that's a good sign. But yeah, you want something, work for it. If you work hard, you'll get it. That's the way we've always done it. And one thing about it, if all these idiots do go to electric cars, my brother-in-law heading over from Pocono race. Yeah, heavy rain on 80. Yeah, that rain on 80. We had rain yesterday that moved through, and then it was pretty humid today. It ended up, I think it got like 92 degrees today. It's actually a little warmer than it normally is, but we had some pop-up showers, but luckily we had the rain yesterday. Around 4 o'clock yesterday, we had some pretty heavy storms blow through. But then by 7 o'clock, it was cleared back up and nice out again. So, they ended up going to like 75 for the low last night, which I love this time of year for that. There's nothing like setting out in your shop 1 o'clock in the morning, the garage door open, and it's still 70 degrees out. But that's one of the reasons why we haven't hit a testing tune yet this summer either. It seems like every Friday, if it ain't raining, it's 90 degrees, and I want to wait until the air is a little bit better because turbo cars really like good air. I mean, we have an intercooler on there, and we're running E85, but it runs better when the air is a little bit cooler. Plus, there's less chance of losing it on the track too. The track's a little better when it's not super hot and greasy. But yeah, I mean, everybody getting your projects done for No Name. You can hear allergies kicking in now. I don't know what that is. That tells you they're doing something to us that nobody's saying, because I lived probably 35 years of my life and never had allergies, and then it seemed like after I turned 35, every year they seem to get a little bit worse. It's the same way with poison ivy. My mom lived her whole life and never got poison ivy. She used to be the person who could go in the garden or whatever and pull it out, all that, and never get it. And then probably about 15 years ago, she was cutting grass and got close to some in her yard and ended up with poison ivy. So I don't know what happens. Something happened though that changes the way our bodies are reacting. It's probably all the chemicals they're putting in our food. But it changes. But us as mechanics, we've absorbed so many different solvents and everything else through our blood, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I probably ate more dirt and grease than you could probably use to lube a whole car with. So, at one point or another, been doing this long enough. I mean, as a kid, I remember some of my oldest memories of my dad. I remember probably back in 1980, I remember him and my uncle, and my dad had a 74 Chevy Nova, and they took the automatic out and they put a 4-speed in it. Yeah, I remember when they was in the garage doing it, I remember being in there and them being on creepers working on it, cutting the hole in the floor for the shifter. And then it ended up, it was a bench seat car, so the Hurst shifter come up over the bench seat. And when I was little, I used to sit in the middle, and my dad would work the clutch and I'd shift the gears. And I did that probably until at least probably about 9 or 10 before he got rid of that, when he got his other car that was automatic when the Nova was wore out. At 6, 7 years old, I was riding around rowing the gears in a 4-speed. Dad was working the clutch and I'd work the gears. And I still remember the sound of that 350 with headers and thrush mufflers when we'd pull out of the club and he'd get on it and bang second gear. And I closed my eyes and I could hear that. My dad's been gone since 99, but I'll never forget riding with him in that Nova with Waylon Jennings and the 8-track player. Good times, man. Time flashes by so fast. It seems the older you get, the faster time goes. So, well, I'm glad to have everybody here. I'm glad for good friends and good times. Yeah, it could be the plastic containers. There you go. Sorry about that. For some reason, I wasn't getting messages. Now they're back. It's probably the plastic. Probably has a lot to do. I think it's more than that, though. It's probably like all the chemicals and stuff they're using for different fertilizers and different weed killers and all that. All that's in our water, and then everything. They give all these antibiotics. They give the animals and growth hormones to, so they grow up faster, to be slaughtered into meat. So, I mean, all that's got to end up in our water and in our food. So, that's probably the reason why, that young girls today hit maturity so more. Because I remember in junior high school, man, even 16-year-olds, didn't really look like women. You know what I mean? Some of the 15 and 16-year-old girls still look like guys. But now, you got to walk around and, it's not that you want to notice, you don't, but you got, 9 and 10-year-olds that walk around now and they look like grown women. And it has to be them growth hormones they're putting in. That's the only thing I can figure what it is the growth hormones. 1960 Rambler, 6 cylinder, 3 on a tree. Sweet. I remember my first 3 on a tree I bought a 67 El Camino when I was like 17 years old. I traded the 77 Camaro for it. And it was a 283 with a 3-speed on the column. And I remember I asked my dad real quick. I was like, Dad, where's the gears at in that? And he told me, he's like, think of a 3-speed on the floor. He's like, and turn it sideways. He's like, so pull towards you and all the way down is first. He said, up and away to second, and then straight down from that third. And he's like, pull forward and up for reverse. I was like, oh, all right. I went and got it. Like 20 minutes later, I pulled in the driveway with it, and that's when he started, and he wanted it. He had like a 78 Aspen with a 318 in it at the time. It was funny because this is like back in probably 93, 94. We'd do burnouts around the neighborhood, and then my dad would get his Aspen out, and he'd do burnouts around the neighborhood. It was always fun. My dad would see us hot rodding and he'd start hot rodding. I think it's going to start, we're going to have to start walking down here to the light because it's going to start getting dark up here. So bear with me, guys. And I'll walk down here to the light, get my chair and my tripod. And we're going to walk down because it's finally, we're losing daylight up here now. I'd like to stay for longer, but we'll get out of here. There's some lights down here. Looks like Amanda's coming. I can see her walking up here. We're going to get out here to the street lights and set. That way everybody can see us. We're not sitting in the dark. Man, it's so beautiful out here tonight. And I love this world. And I love this life. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Yeah, I wouldn't want to grow up because growing up poor and having nothing made me who I am. I'm not getting questions now. It's not showing. They were showing, but now they're not. I'll have to fix it when I get down here to the light.
Mopar Dan, the first thing before I drove was...
Yeah, I read that from Mopar Dan.
Dakota timeout. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, you might have to give Dakota a timeout if you're a moderator, but they time him out everywhere. John Wilburn and them, every time he comes in, they time him out. But I told him we won't time him out on our channel because a couple years ago Dakota was really young, so he would come on and do like silly stuff, and say silly things. So they would time him out. Then it just become a tradition. That's why his name's Dakota's Timeout, because he'd always get timed out. Yeah, we'll walk down a little bit here down to the street lights. Street lights are on, guys. It's almost bedtime.
Yeah, shouldn't your ass be in bed?
Yeah, should be home. Street lights are on.
Old people should be in bed.
I know, I forgot my Geritol today.
Did you take your medicine?
I know, my sciatic.
Did you take it with pudding or applesauce?
Applesauce, just like Joe. Ice cream.
No, it's either pudding or applesauce.
Ice cream, just like Joe. And maybe it's down, we can sniff some. No, never mind. But yeah, we'll come down here. It's probably pretty good here. The light's on our face here.
Now, old people get their pills taken with either ice cream or pudding.
This would be good because there's light here. Oh, I brought one chair. Oh, okay, now we're back in here. Okay.
It's nice out to be sitting in.
Yeah, that's a nice night to be sitting here on a runaway truck ramp. That's why I turned it around. They love the sunset. We get to see the sunset because I was up there at the sunset behind us.
I see the fireworks.
Is that fireworks? Yeah, it has to be fireworks. You can't be gunshots. I got 6 people on here right now. 8 people. But yeah, everybody, It's getting dark out now, but that's good. We moved down here to the light, a little closer to the road. We're about out of drink. That's not good. I got a Mountain Dew, but it was hot out today. Well, it wasn't hot. It wasn't like unbearable, but it was very nice out. Probably not, but what are they going to do? Tell me to leave. That's all they're going to do. We're trespassing on the runaway truck ramp. There's no signs actually, there's no trespass. It's just no parking. If they didn't want you here, they'd have a fence around it. See? That's how I figured. If they didn't want me here, they'd have a sign. But there's no signs anywhere that says no pedestrians. It just says no parking, not no pedestrians. Like I said, it's not like we're on the ramp. You can see the ramp over my shoulder. We're not on the ramp. We're on the pavement. You can see the gravel ramp on my shoulders. But I'm sitting this way because the light's in front of me and it's shining in my face. So no matter how dark it gets right now, they'll be able to see me. And we were talking about computers and all that, getting everybody set up. Buff's garage, he needs the VATs turned off in a computer and he needs a drive-by-wire computer. I'm going to see about getting a hold of him and hooking him up with one. I got one. But, yeah, other than that, guys, how's the weather where everybody else? I know some of you guys said out I-80 it was raining. Dawn and Wendy said they had rain their way today.
I don't want her.
All right. Peace out, Girl Scout. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're live and in command. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the party. Or so be it. But yeah, so where the heck was we? I don't even remember now that we moved. But yeah, growing up poor, you learn how to make things. Been raining on all week. See, it's weird here. I mean, they called for rain. It's really weird where we live because we live like at the face, going up the face of the mountain. So the prevailing weather comes in from west to east here. And we're facing west, so we're on the east side of the mountain. And you'll watch the weather radar as the stuff comes down. You'll watch the storms in the area, and it's like, there'll be like really intense storms, and it's done this all this year. Right as the weather comes up against the face of the mountain, it like splits off into two and misses right where our house is at. So we've had, you know, rain all around, and I've talked to people, and they're like, oh man, it rained here all week and everything. I'm like, there wasn't a drop at my house. And I'm like, yeah, luckily yesterday we got a little bit of rain, because we need some rain. Because if things do work out and we do get to take the boat out for a little bit this year, I would like to have a little bit of water in the reservoir. And by this time of year, the reservoir starts getting a little shallow. So hopefully we'll get some rain to keep the reservoir up. Because they have a whitewater rafting on the river below the reservoir. So they have a tendency to let the water out of the dam to keep the whitewater rafting going, which by all technicality, they're not supposed to do, but you know how people like to scratch each other's back and do favors for each other. So sometimes things that aren't supposed to happen do happen. But what are you going to do about it? We can't fix that because it's the Army Corps of Engineers runs the lake. The government should be running that, but for some reason, like 5 years ago, a private company got the contract for the campground that literally my kids grew up in, that we would go there. We would spend at least 21 days of summer at this campground, split up between the 3 months of summer, up there with our boat because we're right on the lake. We could beach the boat at night beside the camper and camp there. And then all of a sudden they decided it'd be more profitable to lease that campground to a private company that changed it from a government campground that you could afford to go camping in, because it was like $30 a night to camp there for a family of 6, and now they changed it to it's like $100 a night for a family of 4, and if 2 more people go, then they charge extra. So we quit going there. But unfortunately, that same company or same local company that owns that campground also owns whitewater rafting, which is below the dam. And we live along a river that normally at this time of year runs about 1 or 2 foot high at the Whitewater Rapids, but they let the water out of the dam and make it like 4-foot rapids. Well, that's all about money. They're definitely though, but it ain't supposed to be that way. Well, what are you going to do? I mean, that our federal tax dollars paid for that dam, our federal tax dollars paid for that campground, our federal tax dollars run that, but now we can't use it because they decide to lease it to a private company that's priced it out of range of the common people, which probably won't want to go there anyway now because it's full of a bunch of high-class city people when it used to be like the redneck hillbilly white trash campground, and now it's not. So they probably wouldn't let us there with our 73 Winnebago and our 1989 boat anyway, but hey, whatever. I'm having the same amount of fun they're having, and I ain't paying thousands of dollars a month in payments that they're paying. So if I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like going to work that day, everything I own's paid for. So yeah, well, like I said, at least we do have mill runs still there, but that's the problem with this time of year. Mill run's going to start getting shallow. The boat ramp might even be out of the water. I don't know. I haven't been on there to check it. But I wanted to go there this year, but with everything else that's been going on, I ain't made it. Kind of busy with everything else. I mean, literally, I've been busy, dude. I work, if I'm not working, I'm home doing work somewhere. I'm working on a car somewhere. I honestly, I'm 7 days a week. It seems like most days from the time I get out of bed till the time I go to bed, I'm working. Now, a lot of people don't see that, but it's just I'm hustling constantly. But it'll be nice to take a break. I mean, I'll be happy when I get to No Name. At least I can kick back and relax and have a fun weekend and not have to worry about working on anything. But then again, one of my friends or one of you guys will probably be there. And, it's inevitable that someone's going to have a problem, and when they do, then I'm going to have to come in and I'm going to want to work anyway because I can't sit around and watch guys have a hard time without working. It's just, if people are working, I got to throw my hands in there and work too. I can't watch a man struggle. It just drives me crazy. So we'll see what happens, but I'm sure of it. So if we're at No Name and somebody's having a hard time, just look me up. I will help. I thought about it. I don't have the time right now. I found a camper about 75 miles away with a blown transmission. I was like, that would be cool to drive out there and buy it, take a 6.0 and a 4L80 with me and swap it in and then drive it back home. That'd make a pretty good YouTube video. It's over in Ohio, so I'd just throw the LS in there and the 4L80 and the wiring harness and the computer and the laptop and cherry picker and the tools that go to the camper wherever it's at, throw a rope on it, tow it to the nearest Harbor Freight parking lot, swap the motor and transmission out, use the generator on the motorhome to shorten the drive shaft for the 80 because it has a turbo 400 in it, so the drive shaft will need shortened. It'll be the right yoke, but only a couple inches taken out of it. So use the generator on the motorhome and the 110 wire feed welder to shorten the drive shaft and then drive the thing back here to Pennsylvania. That would be a good thing to do if we didn't have the No Name this year, but except with time running out, I just got to focus on the trailer. Oh, yeah, it'd be a good run of motorhome. All right, Dawn, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the support. You have a good day, Dawn. We'll see you later, buddy. Yep, good times, man. Look at that beautiful sunset now in the back. And now, like I said, the street light's getting bright enough now. Yep, no problem. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it, buddy. Good night, brother. Holy crap, we've been on here an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun hanging out with your friends. But yeah, I hear the frogs and the crickets coming out now. what you say, Unfinished? You getting things going along? I know you seem you've been busy lately. Everything working out good? Man, I can't get over how nice it is out here. Hey, Renegade's Garage, how's it going, man? Yeah, it is definitely beautiful out here. It's nights like this, makes you happy to be alive. It doesn't matter how bad a day I've had, how bad anything's gone wrong. It's beautiful out. Yep, I know, Unfinished. We're all in a rush. It's not like our life wasn't hectic enough, and then John and Dallas had to make it more hectic by coming up with the No Name Nationals, but challenge accepted. We'll get it. I'm glad they did it. It's going to be neat to have. It's going to be real fun. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. I cannot wait. You guys will see me rolling in and half broken down. Property maintenance ever since you got off work today. Yeah, I know the feeling, dude. I said, I'm remodeling a house. I feel for you. And I mean, it when I got it, it needed everything. It had metal roof on it. It needed rewired, replumbed, all new drywall inside. It needed all that, so it's been a lot of work. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. See, like I said, we've been lucky. Well, I don't know if it's lucky to say we've been lucky and haven't been getting rain. It would be nice to get rain. We need a little bit of rain, but if it could just rain between the hours of like 5 p.m. and 5 a.m., Monday through Friday, that would be nice. Okay, thanks. But I don't think that's going to happen, so if anybody can pull any favors, if they know anything about that HARP system or everything, you just whisper in their ear and be like, hey, man, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Time, southwestern Pennsylvania, 5 days a week, you can rain all you want. And I just need 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I need it to stay dry. Yeah. I don't know right now. Shingles are crazy, man. I went with metal just for the fact that the metal was about half the price of what it was going to cost me to do shingles. And then shingles, I just didn't feel like redoing in another 25 years. It was funny when I bought the steel for my roof, the guy there, he was trying to upsell me on the stuff. And he's like, well, this stuff I got here got a 40-year warranty on it. And I tried to explain to him, I'm like, dude, I'm 45 years old. I said, I don't need a 40-year warranty. I said, 40 years, it'll be someone else's problem. I said, the kids can worry about it or whoever, because, yeah, I'll probably still be around, but I'm not going to care about that roof. That roof will be someone else's problem. I'll be caring about what we're going to have for breakfast or lunch or whatever. Maybe getting some pudding. But no, I mean, it just is what it is. But shingles are crazy right now, and then with the price of oil going up, I imagine that showed the price up more. What I started doing, because I do construction by trade, it's what I've always done, because I never wanted to work on cars as a living because I got burned out on it. I tried it when I was young, probably in my early 20s, I tried working for a garage. Yeah, leaking at the screws, yeah, that's the problem. The rubber screws got. I mean, if it's leaking at the screws, I'd just almost maybe just get some new screws. If it's an easy roof to go on, just pull them out and put new screws in, because the rubbers are probably just went bad on the screws. But yeah, I tried, like I said, in my early 20s, I had a job in a local garage around here. It was a really popular garage. They done a lot of work. And I hated it, because I liked working on the cars in the daytime, but I never wanted to work on my own stuff when I come home. So I went back to doing construction. That way, at least if I worked on a house all day, or as I do now, I work on swimming pools. So if I do that all day, when I get done, I still have some motivation to work on my cars. some motivation. I said today I'm nursing a leg injury. I got this freaking Charlie horse in my right or left leg because I tweaked my back Friday afternoon, and now my sciatic's been bothering me since last night from it. The back quit hurting, but now my sciatic is. Yeah, I understand that, Renegade. My roof's like a 10-12 pitch. It was a pain putting that steel on it. Yep, yeah, you'd think they would have put better rubber on them, knowing that, but that's what it is. The UV breaks the rubber down on the screws. Yeah, one out, one new in. Yeah, that takes a while, but it does work. That's usually the problem. And then my roof's so steep, basically you tie off to the other side to be on the metal. Just the way the house is, it's 10-12 because the bedrooms upstairs are kind of what would be the attic portion, so down the center of it. So the roof's pretty steep. But hey, it was a good price and it's paid for already, and that's all that matters. I don't owe nothing on it. Yeah, I'd say it's probably what it is the rubbers are on there, Renegade. Maybe I'd say find some kids that would do it for you, with some younger teenagers or something, but none of them want to do anything, so you'll probably still end up having to do it yourself anyway. Nobody wants to work anymore. And that's probably the government give out all that money. Everybody had so much money in their pockets. Oh, I think when I did mine right when COVID first hit. And I paid like $40 a bag for the screws. I think I ended up using like 3 bags of screws for the roof of mine. So my roof is actually pretty small. Yeah, I'd say they were about $40 a bag for my screws. So. But how everything is, so they're probably, if they were 40 then, they're probably 75 now. Like I said, if they would have just put a rubber in there that would have been, UV resistant, you think they would have on a roof, but, it's planned obsolescence, so they want the stuff to go bad. Because they figure most people, the roof would leak, they would replace the metal, thinking that the metal was just rusted out instead of the screws. I mean, all honesty, you could probably get away with just having someone go up there with a caulking gun and some good, I can't think of it. There's a really good, clear Lexol caulking, and it's it lasts it's like 100% silicone, and it's UV rated, and that stuff will last like 15 years. We used it doing siding and roof flashing and stuff, but even that, you just go up there and put a dab of that at every screw and let it dry. It would probably prevent it from leaking. It's just the idea, like you said, the roof's steep, so if you're going to get up there, you might as well change them. Or heck, honestly, maybe too, I guarantee it, the rubber just degraded around them. That rubber rots out, now that screw's sticking up slightly, and it gives a spot for the water to get in. Yeah, as I said, if you can get somebody to go up there and do it for you. Back 20 years ago, I would have probably charged you $100 to grab a screw gun and hand me the bag of screws, and would have went up there on a Saturday afternoon and done it for you. When I was in my 20s, I would have been a side job just to make a quick $100 on an afternoon. Go change the screws. There you go, 400 screws for $42. Heck yeah, you should be able to count the rows of screws and estimate how much you need. Renegade, oh yeah. I said back 20 years ago though, man. Heck, if you was close enough, I'd probably still do it. $100, that's an extra tank of fuel for a week. It's crazy, man. I remember the summer of '95 driving around here. Gas got down to like 86 cents a gallon that summer. We were still out running around. I remember Dwayne Schultz, the one that's on here. There you go. Yeah, I'm sure there's some kid out there motivated to do it. I mean, still even $300 to replace it. That's a square shingle anymore. So I imagine last time I checked, like I said, a bundle of shingles was like, I think it was $100 a bundle, and there's 3 bundles to a square. So when I checked on my roof, that's what it was, $300 a square. So I didn't want to do it. That's why I ended up going with steel. Yeah, as I said, look though, man, back then we was running out $250 in gas a week. And gas was only 86 cents a gallon. But we never stopped moving. We were always driving around. I don't know how we afforded to keep tires on that thing, because every time it left the stop sign, it left dual black marks. But hey, that was the fun time. It's back when tires were cheap. That's back when you could go buy them Recap 31 1050 mud tires for like $50 a tire, $200 for all 4 of them put on the car and out the door or on the truck. And then they'd last you 2 years if you wasn't out doing burnouts. Now the last set of tires I bought them in 2014, and I paid over $300 a piece for the ones on the tracker. Yeah, I've always run used tires too around here. Unfortunately, the tire shops, they get them tires. Actually, they get paid for their used tires because they're picking them tires up from the dealers and the big tire shops. So, you know, the used shops are getting them tires. They're getting paid to haul them tires off. And then around here, they're selling them for like $50 a piece, putting them on a rim. So you've seen me. I haven't paid anybody. Yep, I pick tires up off the side of the road, standing up beside dumpsters, take them home and put them on the wheel myself. I haven't paid a tire shop to put a tire on a wheel, and I couldn't tell you how long. I refused to do it. Even when I ordered my brand new tires for my car last summer, I went out, got them, broke the old ones down off of the rims, put the new ones on, blowed them up, and go. That car's been 130 plus miles an hour with no shakes. So, especially when you got a new tire, as long as your rim's true, you really don't need that much balance weight. Not with small car tires anyway, like anything under 28 inches tall. Now, truck tires, that's another story, but if you got like, what we learned to do is if you have like a 36 inch or 35 inch tall truck tire, and you off-road a lot, you're knocking the weights off all the time, just put it like 4 or 5 ounces of airsoft BBs. What's up, Bad Tree? But yeah, you put like 4 or 5 ounces of the airsoft BBs in each tire, and your truck tires like that, and they'll balance themselves once you start rolling. That's what we've always done with our off-road vehicles, because you'd go pay to have the tires balanced. You wouldn't make it one off-road trip and you'd have them not. Yeah, balance beads. Yeah, we just use airsoft BBs. Is what we've always used to balance them. Just go to Walmart and buy one of them big, 1 pound or 5 pound containers of the airsoft BBs. Put 1/4 of them in each tire and send it. So what's Bad Tree up to tonight, man? Thanks for popping in. We're just hanging out here. Everybody hung out and watched the sun go down, and we're just sitting here chilling under the street light now, hanging out at the runaway truck ramp down the street from my house. It's walking distance, so said hopefully you see the gravel over my shoulder there. That's the ramp, so we don't know what's going on for tonight. We haven't had no runaways yet, but we're on truck watch. I doubt it, because they put this ramp in about 5 years ago. I don't think one truck's used it yet. But All the people that live down the street, they complained for years, oh, we need a runaway truck ramp on the mountain coming into Connersville. We need a runaway truck ramp on the mountain to Connersville. I got an idea. Let the guys use the engine brakes. And that's the problem. They want to, they pass ordinances and not allowed to use an engine brake. And people don't understand how a big rig works, and they understand that the service brake on a truck isn't stopping a loaded truck without an engine brake. But, I guess they would rather a truck run through their house than be woken up by, a truck making noise. But they did decide to put this runaway truck ramp in. But like I said, it was just wasting money because it sits here and hasn't been used in the 5 years it's been in. So they come by every about once a year and fix the gravel in it, because some idiot will drive his pickup in down there at the end and sink it, because this is a gravel pit. When there's about a 4-foot trench here. Axle swap and all new drum brakes. There you go. Sport 10.5s now. Now she'll hook, man. Like I decided when I put I got the 2810s on mine, the D06 Hoosiers, but as soon as I put them on, that's when I found the other weak links. One weak link after another. But sooner or later you get them. We learned that from four-wheeling. Every time you make the car stronger, the weak link just moves down. Yeah, they built me a nice hangout. That's nice of them. At least we get some use out of our tax dollars, even if we're using them just to hang out here and do live on YouTube. I mean, they're even providing the electricity for the light. But they rob us enough for gas taxes, so I guess that's not too much to ask. We got the second highest gas tax in the country, so I guess to use PennDOT for a hangout won't hurt them. And I can't believe how much traffic's up and down this mountain tonight. But yep, it's a beautiful night. Bad Tree, like I said, I spent the afternoon tuning the carburetor on a 69 Pontiac 400. Like I started to talk about it earlier, we got a it's got a what's that Holley? It's an 800 double pumper Holley on there. Yeah, they abuse it, yeah, but around here, dude, you have to have it. I mean, it's a freaking mountain. It was the neighborhood that gets mad. There's a stone quarry another probably mile and a half from where I'm sitting. There's a stone quarry. So up and down, and the asphalt plant's up there. So up and down this road all day, there's trucks that are going to have to use a Jake brake. But said everybody complained about it, didn't want it. But luckily out here, you're allowed to use it until you get to the city limits, which is about another mile down the road. So we get some good sound here. We got this one truck, actually, he's due, because usually he's hauling logs, and I think he's hauling overweight, because it's always like Sunday later at night, he comes down through here. That truck sounds good on the Jake, but you can always tell he's heavy when he comes through. But yeah, I was working on that carburetor, and I'd say out of the box, man, I don't know if somebody screwed with it, because all the mixture screws were turned all the way in. I couldn't figure it out, because I'd fire the car up. I had the car fired up and running, and as long as I would sit there and rock the throttle enough, just enough for the accelerator pumps to just lightly bump it, just a little shot to keep the thing idling, it would sound good. As soon as I'd let go of the throttle, it would shut off. So I decided to check the mixture screws real quick. I grabbed a screwdriver out, throwed them on there, and all the mixture screws, I mean, they were like a half turn out. And that carburetor come out of the box that way. So I turned them all in, all the way, backed them all out, 2 1/4 turns. Car fired up and idled. It was running a little bit fat on the passenger side, so I adjusted that side of the carburetor and filled a little bit of smoke cleared up out of that tailpipe. And got the idle down, and I set the ignition timing, and then I pulled the idle back a little bit more once I got the ignition timing dialed in. Now it sounds pretty good. throttle response is right there now. So that's the first Holly out of the box I've ever pulled up that was that far off. Usually they're pretty close, but I can't believe that. Usually them mixture screws are about 2 turns out from the factory. But that one, they were, like I said, they were turned all the way in. That was strange, but that was the first thing I thought of, though, when I noticed I had the rock accelerator pump just to keep enrichment, to keep it running. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, man, mixture screws must be bottomed out. And I said they were only a half turn out, so we got that taken care of. Then I worked on, he got a set of aftermarket bucket seats he was putting in there, so I had to make some spacers for the track, so I worked on that a little bit, but that car's about ready. If it rains this week and I get a couple days here at the shop with it, I should be able to get it out and drive it around a little bit, get it dialed in a little bit better. It's almost done. I think the biggest thing I have left to do to it is put the floor shifter in it. Is he got a B&M shifter he wants, but it's a cable shifter. Those aren't too bad to mount and hook up. So he wants to take column shift out, put that in, and I got like a set of speakers I got to mount in the rear deck and just little stuff. Put the tack in. The gauges are in and wired up. I just put the new carpet and all that in last weekend. New seal plates are in. It'll be ready to go. I put the front bumper and all that back on 2 weeks ago. And I know he wants to get it out and running, so I don't blame him. All right, Renegade, thanks for stopping in, man. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. You're welcome to stop in anytime you want. Thank you. Have a good night, man. Have a good week. But yeah, other than that, so I want to get that Pontiac done, get it out of the way. I can only imagine I got to price lumber this week because I got to get enough 2x8x16 to do my trailer deck. Yeah, no brakes. Yeah, we have them around here. Like I said, we got trucks coming out of the quarry at 80,000 pounds, either with a load of stone or a load of asphalt. Said once they pass this ramp, it's another mile, then the city limit starts, and they're not allowed to use a Jake all the way through the city limits. And then this road, 2 miles from here, comes to a T at the main street in the town, so they got to stop down there. And then they come down there and got to stop at a red light. Yeah, like I said, the people complain. Unfortunately, the people complain, like I said, they don't understand how the service brake works in the truck. I mean, yeah, and that was always a good argument that I'd tell people when they start running drum brakes down. I was like, yeah, well, if drum brakes are bad, why do big rigs have drum brakes? You know, but I can tell you one thing with the drum to disc brake thing. When I put the 8.8 in the Cutlass last year, when I had the drum brakes on the back, I could foot brake that car to 3,200 without it starting to spin the back tires on the converter. And now that I have disc brakes on the back, I had to lower my 2-step down to 2,800 because it would start spinning the tires at around 29. Well, we know no one has common sense. But yeah, I had to lower my 2-step 350 RPM just by changing from drum brakes to disc brakes in my car. Because like I said, I couldn't hold the converter back with the foot brake with the discs like I could with the drums. But, you know, is what it is. That 8.8 Explorer that came with drums, or came with discs on it. So I wasn't changing. I got the whole axle for $125. So I just hooked up what it came with, bought a new set of pads for it. Well, it's been in there now 2 years, but yeah, I did notice that I happened to drop the 2-step RPM. I mean, the thing's still even leaving off the foot brake Leaving off the foot brake at 2,800, the car is still 60 foot. It's like a 158.60. And there's probably a little more. Like I said, I'd like the when I do the glide, I'll put trans brake in it. I like to put an 80 in there with a trans brake because you can keep your full auto feature, but the converters for those things are outrageous. And I can't see putting $1,500 torque converter in a car and then I only have $4,000 in the whole car. That would kind of break my heart to do. But yeah, I mean, it just can't believe no big trucks have been by tonight. Usually someone comes through. Like I said, the log trucks will sneak through here in a little bit. But yeah, it's beautiful out. Nice breeze. Alright, Schultz, I'll have to check you later, man. Get a hold of me. Just let me know what's going on. I'll be hopping out of here soon anyway. I'm only going to stay on here about another 15 minutes or so, and I'm going to call it a night. I don't want to keep these guys all night. They were good enough to come on here and listen to what I have to say. I don't want to keep them for too long. But yeah, I mean, it's other than that, I say that too much. Guys got to digitally smack me somehow like that for saying it. But I'm getting better. I'm a lot more comfortable. I want to thank everybody for coming in here. I'm starting to get more comfortable with it. I mean, I know the first live I did, the first video I did, I was so stiff and uptight. Okay, yep. That's fine, then. I guess I'll work on the Pontiac some more tomorrow, then. Hopefully I can get it out. I'm going to do some, shoot some video on that when I get it out. Get it out and get that carburetor completely dialed in. Like I said, I had it idling good today. The transition seemed good. But I won't know until I actually got it loaded in gear and I roll in it if it's going to come up good. I said I cannot think of what that carburetor is. It's the ones they use all the time on that other channel. Engine Masters, whatever. I can't think of what the Holley carburetor is. I can't think of it. I'll think of it. I'll get it and remember. It's a popular carburetor right now, but it's like their cheaper one. It's like the nickel plated one, but it's just, like I said, it's like an 800 double pumper, mechanical secondary. But it should work all right on that 400. We'll see how it goes. I mean, the car's got decent cam in it, a good free flowing exhaust, so that carb should be all right. I don't see it being too big. I mean, it may be a little big, but you know, we'll keep it drivable. We'll tune it. And at least he'll have the airflow capability because he wants to spray that car a little bit. So, but it's a good solid car and lots of fun. It just seems like it's taking forever, just little time. But hopefully, like I said, maybe definitely one night this week I'll be able to get it out and at least drive it around the block, start working the bugs out of it. Said today I had it fired up and running and everything sounded good. It come up to temperature. The only problem I had is that rubber O-ring on a Pontiac between the water pump and the intake. It was dripping a little bit, so said I might have to pull the water pump, put a dab RTV on each side of that. It's not really like, it's like a square cut O-ring. Put a dab RTV on each side of it and put the water pump back on. That should solve it. I've had trouble with them in the past on Pontiac. They said it's not one of my favorite features of the Pontiac engine. Why they couldn't have just used a piece of rubber hose like everybody else to transfer from the water pump to the intake manifold, but Pontiac doesn't. They just have the water pump surface and you got that 1 5/16 bolt that holds the water pump to the intake manifold. And it's got like that winged washer on there that indexes in a water pump. As I fired it up, it come up to temperature, it was dripping a little bit. I tightened it, it'd drip more, so it's going to have to be pulled off and looked at. I didn't want to fool around with it with my head over top of the mechanical fan. All right, guys, then I guess we'll get ready to wrap it up here. I see everybody's dwindling off. It's getting late. I still got to get a shower for the night, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for watching my videos. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the scrub. Bad Tree, thank you very much, man. Unfinished project. I can't thank you enough. You're always there. You know, Dakota, Renegade, Mopar Den, Dawn and Wendy English, all you guys, man, I appreciate the support. We wouldn't be here without you, and we're grateful for it, and we support you guys. Thank you. Good night, everybody. We will see you later.